Hey, what's up, normies? I'm Daisaku.
I'm Terrence.
Welcome back to the What You Need broadcast. We've moved, and that's why we're not at our normal set, and we're still getting our new set together, as you guys may have seen if you follow us on Instagram, or, no, only if you follow, did you post it to Facebook too? Or just Instagram?
Just Instagram.
Yeah, if you follow us on Instagram, but speaking of social media platforms, we're on a lot of them. We're on Facebook, we're on YouTube, we're on Instagram, and we are on Spotify and Spotomatic. So make sure you guys, is it Spotomatic?
Spotomatic's not a thing. We're on Spotify, Apple Music, Google Play, and
Podomatic. Podomatic.
It's a podcasting host. But yeah, we try to make it.
Wow. What?
We tried to make it as easy as possible for you guys to get access to all the content we're trying to put out. So check us out on any of those platforms, whichever one you use regularly, so that you can stay up to date on all of everything we put out.
I make mistakes like that and wonder, like, how do we do this? How do I even have conversations for this long?
I don't know.
I get that wrong.
You really just open your mouth and hope for the best.
Spotomatic. That's terrible, bro.
So today is going to be like a chill day. Normally we do have guests. But like Daisaku said, we're working on finishing up our set now. We just relocated. So really excited to see what you guys think of that once we get everything done there. So today what I figured is we're 5 episodes deep. The last episode was the dreaded N-word. We did with W.Y.N Lee, who works at Turo. And we're just going to go through the
and inclusion director at Turo University.
Yeah.
I think I got his job title right.
I think so.
That's a cool job title.
Yeah.
But yeah, that one was a really popular one. And like Terrence said, once we get our set together, we're really excited to bring you guys some more content because we're going to be interviewing a lot more people. We're going to be expanding on some conversations that were really popular that we did with W.Y.N. Because the comments we got on some of the other ones were they were a little. What's the word for it, Mike?
I don't know,
because I wasn't offended by them.
People were butthurt.
Yeah.
Oh, you talking about when bro asked if we were being effeminate?
If we were being effeminate, I thought you said we were.
He did say we were acting effeminate.
Yeah, see,
it's not true.
So there we go. But
I'm pretty proud of my masculinity, so.
All right. Okay. So we really can't wait to. I paused too long.
To see where this goes. So I'll start this off first. One of my favorite broadcasts that we've done so far, honestly, was the Why We Like Anime.
Like, anybody has the capacity to be a hero, or if you were to even make it more realistic, anybody has the capacity to help somebody else. Mm-hmm. But it's really like it's really determined by if you're going to do it. You have to make a choice. So this is a young man who his whole life, he just wanted to be a hero. And then when it was time to find out if he was going to be a hero or not, he was told that he had no possibility of being a hero. It like broke him. If you watch that, it's adorable, but it's one of the saddest looking things. I don't cry on movies and TV shows, but I ain't going to lie, it choked me up. It tugged at the heart a little bit. But
and it's not such a big topic like the N-word or is black going out of style or college life. Or even why we do what you need. But I really like it because, like I said, I'm a nerd.
That one was more for like our personal entertainment.
Yeah.
Though we know we probably have some anime viewers in our audience, it was really more of us like explaining how much we enjoy the culture of anime and how it really impacts our lives and how we think it can impact the lives of others and sort of the elements of anime that you don't really see in American animations and you don't really see in American television really for the most part unless it's really thought out. Like only one I can think or only show I can really think of that's like similar to the concept that animes bring about, like Sense8, something like that had a very clear, direct message about what connectivity and understanding brings, or the benefits of those things bring for humanity. But yeah, it was a very, very interesting episode. Very cool to talk about. because I don't really think it's something that gets talked about often.
Yeah. I think it's cool. I think the episode was cool because we kind of gave a little bit of an intro onto our views about anime and manga. I really read a lot of that, which is just like Japanese comics. I've been really getting into Korean ones now. They're actually super cool and hilarious. But yeah, you really get into it and you really learn. Honestly, you do learn a lot, and you feel like it just has it all together, bro. America's just failing. I feel like all of my answers are just sitting inside of manga.
For real. It is really interesting because I think we sort of talked about this in that particular episode, that animes are often seen as sort of childish.
Yeah, it's cartoons.
But like the message, the intellectual capacity that you need to really dig through certain messages that are within it, the background or exposition that you need to understand certain illusions, and your observational skills to really notice like these archetypes and comparing it. Wow,
it's cool.
Spotomatic comparison.
Linguistically, you're failing today.
Really? Oh my God.
But like an example today, or not even today, I'm addicted to it right now. But I've been reading this one about biking. It's called Windbreaker. And on the surface, it looks like it's just about a kid or a high schooler who wants to ride bikes and prove that he's the best. But as you keep reading it and you really pay attention to everything, you see that it's really about a high school student trying to figure out what he wants to do with his life, whether he wants to pursue biking, which is something he's loved and is passionate about, or if he wants to listen to his pretty hardcore mom who wants him to solely study and become a doctor because that's what their family has done for years and years and years. So it's more so about figuring out how to help our young people decide their course of life without really just hammering in what we want from them, because generally a lot of times that just brings about negative side effects. So like the young man in this, he runs away from home. He starts having nosebleeds because he's studying too much. He starts getting sick. He even tries to smoke cigarettes and hang out with gangs and stuff like that because it's too much. And his mom doesn't allow him to branch out a little bit and try some of the things that he's interested in. So you wouldn't think that though. You just read it, you're just like, oh, this kid's mom is mean to him and he wants to ride bikes. But it goes so deep. And it's just comic books.
And it's true. It really is. And speaking of, studying and the life being wrenched out of you from copious amounts of work in the academia, we also did a podcast on college.
I don't really have to be friends with my professors. Most of the time, I don't know what they look like up close. Because I sit, I sit this bigger rooms.
You go to real coolie, Jay.
Yeah.
You got to sit on far back and stuff.
Yeah.
I'm sitting in a high school classroom, dang man. Got little posters and stuff all over the room.
Professor right there.
Yeah, exactly. Reach out, dang your...
Yeah, I have to. It's important to have like strong connections with whoever's grading your papers.
Yeah.
So for me, it's my TAs, and it's a lot easier for me to actually get to know and relate to them because
what it's like living in college. That was episode 4.
Yeah, with Cool Boy Troy.
Yeah, episode 4 with Cool Boy Troy.
That's
Troy, if you're watching
good
this,
fighting name, bro.
Cool Boy Troy.
Cool Boy Troy.
That is a good fighting name.
I can't do it because I don't got the chest like him that just vacuums into my back. But
that's not an insult towards
Troy.
Troy. Troy does know what that is because whenever we see Troy, he does that to us. He sucks his chest in like that.
Back?
So, yeah, we did an episode on college and what college life is really like for those of you who are curious about it, or for those of you who are just trying to see if your experiences are similar to other people's. And me being in a community college and transferring eventually, versus Troy, who went immediately to a 4-year university at Santa Barbara, I want to say. Yeah. It just showed like a really big it was sort of a big difference because I think we talked about it where where Troy is, everybody there is there because they sort of want to be.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Santa Barbara is a party college, almost on par with Chico. So people want to be there anyway, besides getting their education. But almost everybody wants to be there. So you're surrounded by people who push you to want to be motivated. Whereas, did that camera just turn off?
No, I think I leave.
I hope so. For those of you who don't know, we have a camera that like consistently. It's good.
Yeah.
Okay.
As a leaf, I'm telling you.
Okay, bro.
I thought you were a ninja. I called you a ninja in the anime one, and I was lying.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
For sure, it was.
You're just partially Japanese. That's so many. Oh, you didn't tell people that?
What's more many that I'm not a ninja, or that you said because I'm partially Japanese, I have to be?
I don't know. Let's leave that for the viewers.
Yeah, okay, sure. But anyway.
Neither one of those are prejudiced or racist. Let's throw that out there.
It's just stereotypes.
Yeah.
Just a stereotype.
It's just an ignorant statement.
But, yeah, the college one was really fun. It was mostly me and Troy sort of talking about the skills we've gained from being in college, or what you need to survive in college, versus, you know, what could have majorly enhanced your high school experience, but it wasn't taught to you in high school, or it wasn't necessary.
Yeah.
Like having proper time management in high school is super helpful, and you'll probably get A's, given you can do that effectively. But in college, it's necessary, because it's like 30 minutes in high school is like, to you, it's like, it's such a insignificant amount of time to waste, versus in college, it's like, I need like 5 minutes is a significant amount of time for me to be wasting out of a 24-hour day.
True.
So it was really interesting to see that I wasn't the only one experiencing that. And speaking of stereotypes and possible, you know, racially charged comments, we did another podcast, which we also mentioned on.
Wait, before that, there's this clip I really want to make sure we fit in here, from Troy, from the I Love College broadcast. Check that out. I think it's a solid amount of time, but it's from the standpoint of someone at a university, and like I said, at a community college, giving both of their experiences in their first year. It was both your first year, right? Yeah, in their first year of college. But Troy said something at the end, and just want to make sure you guys get a chance to hear this in case you don't listen to that broadcast.
Thanks again. You guys got any last thoughts real quick that you might want to throw at a student? I say 10 words.
If you see Troy at school, make sure you throw that boy on a surfboard.
I feel like that was more, but I'm not going to count them all.
Don't matter.
Don't set too high standards for yourself. Just do your best. You can't ask for anything more than your best, and you'll only get disappointed if you do. So,
heck yeah, anime style. Do your best and believe in your friends.
Seeing Devon with his beads around his neck in one of these episodes. And we've only really had 2 episodes dedicated to topics of race specifically. And the latest one was the dreaded N-word.
Mm-hmm.
And that one was very popular. And it was talking about the N-word in the African American community. You know, is it a term of endearment, of empowerment, or is it really just another way for the African American community to sort of bind itself to an already fixed way of being? And, you know, what does it mean to be an N-word?
Should only black people be able to use it? Should everybody be able to use it, or should nobody be able to use it? Those are the biggest arguments. A lot of people think black people should be able to use it because it's somehow empowering to us, and we took the word away from them, and now it is the word that we use to, you know, lift our people up and prove that we are free of the subjugation that we were once held captive by. So those are the main arguments. That's the main argument for that case. Yeah.
For against it.
Yeah.
But then a lot of people say, you know, that it's one of those like slurs and words like that shouldn't matter, and that making them so significant in that they're, you know, looking at their history, but making them so significant gives them the power.
Right.
Fair.
Yeah.
And go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say, and that there's people made the case that they're all the same, that they all have history behind them, and that choosing to make some of them more or hold a higher level of offensiveness is totally subjective and on the part of society, kind of reinforcing the fact that it's a bad or worse than referring to a Japanese person as a zipper head or referring to a Jewish person as a kike or something of that sort, you know?
I've heard people say you have your black people and then you have, was that Chris Rock?
Right.
Who made, I think it was a joke. It was like you have your black people. Yeah, you have black people and you have your Iggas. And it's like they're different. But then you have people who say that's a real Igga right there. But that can mean something totally different.
Yeah.
It could just mean this guy's really focused. He's kind. He's dedicated. He's loyal. He's a good friend or whatever. And, you know, talking to W.Y.N, who is he's a social scientist. It was really, really interesting, the conversation, because we sort of got some historical context to the term and sort of other adjustments to that word throughout time. Like,
Negus?
Yeah, Negus. So I guess Negus was a king in Africa. I don't remember the particular country within Africa. I don't want people to go like, which part of Africa? Yeah, I know. Africa isn't a country, it's a continent.
Yeah.
I don't remember the
Facebook.
country. Yeah. Ask W.Y.N on Facebook. He might respond. Who knows?
Yeah.
He's a cool guy. He'll probably respond.
It's a lot of W.Y.Ns. You might not find them.
Yeah, you might not. Who knows?
But yeah, like the type said,
W.Y.N plus Turo.
we kind of talked about how kind of confusing it can be about whether it's a bad thing or not. Like I said, to me, it don't matter. I have Asian friends, Mexican friends, Caucasian friends. They say the N-word, or they say Igga all the time. Mm-hmm. And I, for the most part, don't care because I don't consider myself the negative version of that. When I see it, it's like more of a term of endearment. Mm-hmm. Just like when me and Daisako and my friend Tavi make ignorant jokes towards each other, we all know that there's no offense behind it. It's all love, and that it's just jokes. But we talked about with W.Y.N, kind of like the parallel, how, you know, there are men and women out there who call women B's.
Right.
And they'll be like, this is my B, like this is my friend. Mm-hmm. But they'll be like, this is my B, like this is my girlfriend. But then there's also like, this is my B, like property. You know what I mean? So like, there's so many different ways that a word can be used to, I guess, a word can affect the person, I guess.
Right. Different ways of perceiving the word.
Yeah.
And its meaning for yourself. And we explored, you know, like Terrence said, for him, typically it's a term of endearment. But me, I think a lot about the word because people do use it as a term of endearment for me on occasion. But I mean, it sounds like I don't have friends. but I think, you know, is it just another way, or is it a way of just perpetuating stereotypes? Like, if we stop saying the N-word, how bad could it be for the African American community? You know? And if we don't stop saying it, then it's like, how bad would it be to allow everybody to say it? Because some people don't agree that within any context, if you're not black, you can't say it. And I think we brought that up. And me and W.Y.N, it wasn't much an argument. It was more of like him explaining to me. I was a bit confused because I mentioned an example like, what if a teacher is reading Huckleberry Finn to his class or her class, and he uses the N-word because he's reading it aloud, and like an African American student gets offended. It's like, one, the teacher didn't write the book, and it's not, he's reading it because that's what it says in the book, and it's the historical context of the time. He's not saying it to offend any African American students in the class.
Right.
And W.Y.N was sort of explaining, the teacher isn't wrong for using the N-word as much. the teacher's wrong for not preparing the students for it. So it was very enlightening to sort of hear that, and a relief, because it wasn't such an irrational opinion as to say that under any context it's said by somebody who's not African American it's racist.
Yeah.
So we explored a lot of broad. It was a lot of broad topics in that one, like the meaning of a word across different cultural spectrums, and how that word relates to sort of the African American masculine idea.
Yeah, I think for me, what I got from it was just that I feel like that word has been given. It's no matter which way you go with it, really, it's giving it a power. Mm-hmm. So it's like we have to take this word out. No one can say it because the word is so powerful. Or we need to make it sure that everyone can say it because the word is so powerful. Mm-hmm. So it's like, as long as we focus on it so much, I feel like it's just gonna keep that negative power, or whatever power it has over people. Whether that's a fear of people, hating you because of the skin of your color, because of
man, I didn't spread it to you, bro. You got Spotomatic comparison.
Skin of your color.
Compressing and skin of color.
But yeah, because of the color of your skin, or because of your gender, because of your sexuality, I think that we give a lot of words a little bit more power than they need to have over us.
Yeah.
There's definitely power behind words, and there's so much you can do to affect the person with words. But honestly, like I said, I really don't care. So the average person walks up to me and says that it does nothing to me. Even the average person who's butthurt and comes up and says it to me, I'm like, dang, that's crazy. You really just said that. Mm-hmm. You're that ignorant still in 2019. That's crazy. That's the crazy thing. Not that you call me the N-word, but you still just ignorant today.
Yeah.
That's like my mindset.
On another racially charged topic.
Fill it out to touch on. When we did this broadcast, I guess I wore a tie-dye shirt. I don't know if that's feminine. I feel like that's a little sexist to say, so I'm going to say it's not feminine. But we had some people comment on a promo video we put up. And one of the comments was one person said, always been in style, never will be out of style, because the broadcast was called, Is Acting Black Going Out of Style?
Right.
And the topic came from me driving home from work one day and seeing somebody walking down the street, sagging his pants with a grill, had a snapback hat barely, on his head. And I was like, man, this dude's definitely trying to act black, or like a gangster black person. Mm-hmm. And it struck me that me, as an African-American person who doesn't fit any of the stereotypes that he was portraying, thought of him as acting like what a black person would be, or what I think a black person is. Mm-hmm. So I was like, we should do a topic, talk with W.Y.N and see, is the idea of acting like a black person going out of style? Like, is there a normal black person? Is there a positive version of what it means to be an African American person that is a stereotype?
Yeah, and what does it mean to act black? Because that's another thing that I think we've mentioned in a few different podcasts, is that me and Terrence, we've always sort of, because we're black, you can guess that we've always sort of been in primarily African American communities. And even when we're outside of it, we still face around the same type of thing. And it's that we always get that we're not really black, or we don't act black. Yeah. So, and it's always sort of been confusing, because it's like, what does that mean? Are you saying that because I choose to speak properly, or because I watch anime, or basketball isn't my favorite sport, or I don't listen to rap too often, that I don't act black, or I'm not black? So that was another thing we covered in that episode, which was vitally important to answer the question of, is acting black being out of style? Because we had to bring a definition to it. But as Devon sort of elaborated, it was that there's multiple.
Yeah, there's no monolithic. He taught us that word. He used that word so much.
Yeah, he did.
There's no monolithic black person. There's no monolithic black.
And likes to objectify women. Yeah. And then it's like, me and Terrence are listening to Panic at the Disco. Gang. And they're like, you guys aren't even black. I'm like, well, I mean, come on, bro.
I think ultimately there is no monolithic for blackness.
Yeah.
There is no essence that can be extracted to say this is black, therefore this is not. And I think ultimately we have the...
But people did get a little confused when I said I'm not 100% sure why, because it says is acting, but I said is acting black going out of style. We got comments from people saying it's always in style, and I'd say it's not always in style. Being black is not a style. It's a culture. So I'd rather not say that it's a style or something that can change with fads or trends.
What really happened was it was very misinterpreted. Yeah. Most people, and this is what most people do when they come upon videos, they go to the video, they look at the title, and then based off that, they come up with everything that's in the video in their head, and then they write a comment based off of the imaginary conversation that's been generated inside their head. And they just start like, they comment based off of that conversation instead of listening to the actual video. And I'm guessing they thought of it as more of like some weird Get Out situation, you know, where where it's like, is black culture going out of style in the media? Yeah. Versus like what we were trying to say as in, is the typical idea of what it means to be black or what is perceived to be black, given that it's thought of monolithically, going out of style within our own community as well as outside our own community.
Is the idea that the negative ghetto black person is what it means to be a black person going out of style? Are we finally getting, you know, as minorities, are we finally getting positive stereotypes that are placed on us in being considered black? I want more nerds to be like, oh dang, you're hecka black. I'd love to see something like that. I think that'd be wild. But what we were talking about at first was we had somebody who commented, and he commented and said, what's really going on here? So of course we did the emojis, and he said, where was it? He said, oh, we are the original man, and the two brothers who spoke, he said we were acting super effeminate to the affect of Europeans on black men. And then he said, y'all did that on purpose. And I won't lie to you, I got a little butthurt for like 3 days. Because I was like, hold on, man.
Yeah, same.
I was being normal, so I was like...
Yeah. It's weird to me, because I don't see like where his argument is coming from. Because Terrence is wearing a tie-dye shirt, but I don't see how colors make you feminine. And I don't get it. I don't get how like we are perceived to be feminine there. I have a lisp. Yeah, deal with it. I don't know how, I can't control it. I'm sorry. If I tried to control it, I would not be able to come up with any good conversation. I'd be looking after my S's the whole time.
But that just shook me, and it had me walking around Club Stride at work, at the skate park, just questioning, like, hold on, like, am I doing this? Could this be effeminate? And then I was like, man, we don't have no popularity. What you need is just starting off. Yeah, and all these other people are getting horrible comments on them all the time on their social media. So it was just like, man, that's crazy. I definitely got to keep reading our comments because I want to engage with all the viewers and people who support us. Right. But I mean, I see how easy it is to take something that little to heart.
Right. Because me personally, I wasn't really too hurt by it. I was more of just like confused. I was trying to figure out what exactly he meant by acting feminine, and how that's an effect of European culture. Because if I'm correct, almost all of the African American community's ideas on what it means to be masculine is a result of European culture. So I don't really get that. I mean, if he would have said Eastern cultures, then perhaps that might have made sense, because Eastern cultures kind of are a little bit more fluid? Okay. Yeah, they're a little bit more okay with being more connected to your feminine side of being or whatever. But European, that doesn't even make sense to me. Yeah. So I was just a bit confused. And next time, because we're going to talk to Devon about this again, because we really want to get his opinion on this, and perhaps get an insight into what that comment might have meant through Devon. But yeah, it was just really, really funny reading the comments, because it was it was apparent that people were getting upset, but they were getting upset for like the wrong reasons. It's like he made a conspiracy theory out of it all, that we were acting acting feminine on purpose so that we can spread the European agenda. Like, I don't really understand it. I'd love to understand it if it's possible to, and if it's not nonsense. But hey, it was a good episode. I enjoyed talking about it. I can't wait to talk about it again with W.Y.N.
So this has been our first, these 5 episodes have been our first approximately 2 months, almost 2 months of putting out shows, and it's been a good time so far, and I'm really excited to see what we have coming up. Just a few cool topics we have. We got anime part 2. People who are against anime and manga, you can't be my friend. Just kidding, anime has taught me I gotta be your friend and understand you. Also, we got intergenerational interactions. We want to talk. We have a guest coming on who has worked with young men, whether they're in trouble, young men who are, what are they called? Promised young men. And we're going to be talking to him a little bit more about why he thinks the older generation has a harder time communicating with the younger generation and understanding them. And then we have cultural sensitivity, which is one of Saku's topics that he wanted to talk about, just learning how to be sensitive to other cultures and really understand each other. And then another cool one that we thought would be cool, which is kind of like anime that stuck to us, was what kind of music speaks to me. Because generally me and Daisaku listen to music that isn't normally considered or normally expected of two African American men.
Males. Yeah. As soon as somebody gets into my car, I listen to maybe 1 or 2 of my songs, and I don't even have to look over because I know they're discontent with the music that's playing. So I just give them my phone and let them choose. Because I don't know, I might just have terrible taste in music, dog.
I mean,
that might just be it. But it's weird the reasons why people are so interested in the music that they are, and really the motivations behind why they want to feel the way they do because of that music.
Yeah,
that's something we're gonna be going into. Just me and Terrence on that one. But yeah, we got a lot of cool episodes lined up here. So stay tuned in, and we're gonna be putting some episodes out every Friday, right?
Yeah, every Friday.
Every Friday at what time? What time, Money?
6 p.m.
6 p.m.
I wasn't pulling up a video to make sure I had the right time. You bugging. So, what's up, normies? Thanks again for tuning in, checking us out, supporting. We need all the support we can get, and we love everybody who does check out our videos and comments, likes. It all means a lot to us. So yeah, stay tuned for more.
Yeah, and if you have comments like one bro calling us feminine,
we're not gonna censor you. Put them in there.
Yeah, keep them coming, please.
Keep them coming.
Because
I need to get tough skin.
Need to get ready for this YouTube career.
Yeah.
But keep them coming because we still want to hear what you have to say, even if it is a bit, rude, rude, and perhaps you're not rude and also perhaps inaccurate. But we still want to hear it. We want to understand where you guys are coming from. So if you do post something like that, at least elaborate upon your rudeness. All right, thank you very much. Have a nice whatever day it is you're watching, or night. I don't know when you're watching it.
Well, it's Friday. That's when we post this.
But what if they wait until Saturday?
Have a nice after this time, or Friday on the 23rd.
True. Have a nice Friday.
Gang. Oh, snap.
Have a nice Friday.
We're not doing gang stuff, huh?
After 6. Yeah, we're not doing gang stuff.
Gang.